Alright fellas, with the Haney Garcia fight just around the corner, I wanted to have a look at the question of just how good actually is Ryan Garcia. With all the craziness and trash talk, he's once again putting himself in the absolute spotlight. So I wanted to go over his resume, achievements, and allow us to see the bigger picture to figure out what is he actually bringing to his next fight. Ryan Garcia started boxing incredibly early, at the age of 7, with a dream to represent the US in the Olympics. He went on to become an elite level amateur, where he began to really build his name. He would never truly go to the Olympics, given up the chance to, yet he would become a 15-time United States national amateur champion, with a record of 215 and 15. Through his amateur career, he faced some real tough names, including Shakur Stevenson, Devin Haney, and Ortiz Jr., just to name a few. Garcia decided to go pro at 17, but to do so, he had to go over to Mexico to fight. He would have his first bout against Edgar Meza, winning by TKO. Following this up, a couple first round Mexican knockouts, and then a 4-round unanimous decision. Then he made his US debut against a fighter named Jonathan Cruz. He would impress with the TKO, and his next fight would be a corner retirement. With the hype around his name, Garcia soon signed with Golden Boy in November of 2016, making his Golden Boy debut on the undercard of Bernard Hopkins' last fight, against a bloke named Jose Antonio Martinez, ending it with a first round knockout. What followed this was knockout after knockout against honestly very average opponents. Mainly opponents just put there to lose, honestly just straight cans. Yet what this brought was highlight reel knockouts, whilst also Ryan was getting used to being on big cards. And through this period, Garcia was on some huge cards. It also gave Garcia enough exposure to headline cards by himself. One of these headliners came against Jason Velez. This was Garcia's first time he went the full rounds in a couple years, going the full 10. Yet he won a pretty easy shutout decision. He would go on to win a majority decision after this against Carlos Morales, being his first real challenging fight. Because of him going the distance, he decided to start training with legendary trainer Eddie Reynoso, who is also the trainer of Canelo. This partnership seemed like a great fit, with Garcia improving and being around world champs to help him understand what sort of mindset you truly need. Following this win, the type of fighters Garcia were versing were solid national talent. Fighters who look alright on paper, like Bralilo Rodriguez, who Garcia fought on the Canelo fielding undercard. At the time he had a 19-3 record, which looks pretty decent. Yet to this day, he would go on to have a 20-10 record, going 1-6 in his next 7 fights after Garcia. His first big fight was the co-main of Canelo Kovalev. This fight would come against Romero Duno for the WBC silver belt and the WBO NABO belt. Duno at the time had a record of 21 wins and 1 loss. Garcia would go on to put a brilliant performance, knocking Duno out in the first round, capturing the belt and delivering yet another viral performance. He would follow up with the defense of his WBC silver belt against 25-2 Francisco Finesca with yet another first round knockout. This would lead to his biggest fight of his career so far. This would be his bout with Luke Campbell. Luke Campbell, the British southpaw, was seen as a very tough opponent for Garcia, being a former Olympic gold medalist who had a record of 20-3, with 2 of the 3 losses on his record coming against Linares and Lomachenko. This fight would be a shot for the WBC interim world lightweight title. The bout was pushed back a couple times, yet eventually happened on January 2nd, 2021. Garcia was knocked down for the first time in his professional career in the 2nd round. Yet surviving the knockdown, he would go on to put Campbell down in the 7th with a fight-ending body shot. This would be Campbell's last fight before retirement. Following this, Garcia took a 15-month break from the sport, citing the self-imposed break was due to mental health as well as his right hand surgery. In this period, he would have multiple cancelled bouts though, the fight against Javier Fortuna on July 9th, yet on April 24th, Garcia pulled out of the bout. On October 8th, it was announced that Garcia would take on Joseph Diaz. November 27th, Garcia would pull out of the fight with a hand injury. Additionally, in this break, Ryan announced he split with trainer Eddie Reynoso, saying that Reynoso just simply didn't have enough time to train him. While Reynoso stated that Ryan simply didn't have the discipline. He was apparently really difficult to work with and had no focus on boxing. He would end up switching trainers to Joe Goosen. Following this break, Garcia would make his comeback against former IBO lightweight champion Emmanuel Tagoe. This fight was an easy domination for Garcia, winning a unanimous decision, knocking Tagoe down in the 2nd round. His next fight was a significant battle against Javier Fortuna, being Garcia's first fight at super lightweight. Garcia absolutely dominated this fight, securing knockdowns in rounds 4, 5 and 6. with the ref eventually stopping the fight after the third knockdown. This was seen as a solid step for Garcia, with improvements shown from his previous fight, with him looking more comfortable at the higher weight class. What followed this fight was his biggest fight to date, one of the biggest fights over the last few years in the whole sport of boxing, his bout against Gervonta Tank Davis. Now I won't bore you all know how this fight went. Body shot in the 7th round put him down and he didn't get up from the count. The whole night he just didn't look his best. This could be for several reasons, like the rehydration clause, although Tank at the end of the day was just a better fighter at the night. His last bout against Oscar Duarte took place last year. It was a fight which went under the radar for many, with Garcia winning by KO in the 8th round. Although to me, Garcia didn't look like he improved, and it was just an alright performance. This brings us to the current day, with his bout against Haney just around the corner. One thing you can't deny about this fight is Ryan has balls. Although they were competitive in the amateurs, Haney has just continued to get better and better as a future Hall of Fame boxer. Although Ryan is world class and has earned the opportunity to be in the position he's in, I want to run over a few things which I think might trouble him and have troubled him in previous fights. Garcia seems to lack much lateral movement. In most fights he only moves forward and back, with his chin being in the air and easy to smack. This shows with his struggles to cut off the ring. He also lacks much of an inside game, relying too much on his mid-range shots. While additionally, if he boxes a fighter who adopts a southpaw stance, he doesn't really try fight for the lead foot, making it easier for him to be dropped. But Ryan has been getting bigger and stronger, yet skill-wise, over the last few fights, he's plateaued a bit. However, still overall, a really strong contender. His resume is alright, but one thing you can't deny, unlike many in his division, he's willing to do what it takes to make the big fights happen. Anyways, I want to hear what you guys think of Ryan Garcia, and how you guys think he'll go in his upcoming fight. And I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one.